Hi, I'm Dan. This is welcome to my first photography vlog. Basically, what I want to make this channel all about is basically I taught myself how to use my SLR, which was a Nikon D40X at the beginning. I used the kit lenses for about 2 years, and I got some really nice feedback. And no official courses, no nothing. I just learned absolutely everything by trial and error, mainly. But that was what I'm going to talk to you about today. Basically the basics. Firstly, you have the f-stop, or the aperture, which is essentially the amount of a light that is allowed onto the sensor. And the more expensive cameras you have, like the 35mm prime I have, I'm shooting right now with my Nikon D3200, is that it can let a vast amount of light in, and that also enables you to get a incredibly narrow depth of field, which essentially puts the background, like you can see behind me, is out of focus, and that's because I'm using f1.8 currently, at 1/50th of a second to record this video. But if you want to have more of the picture in focus, you want to increase the f-stop, which actually decreases the amount of light that can get in. However, that will put more stuff, more detail into your image, so that is very good for landscapes. So yeah, the next feature you have is the shutter speed, and that probably is the second most important feature on the camera itself, and because obviously the faster the shutter speed is, the more in an instant you can capture an image, which is ideal if you're doing sports photography, because you don't want everything to be blurred. You don't want to be out of, say, a football match and the ball to be just a line. That isn't ideal. However, in some of the motorsport photography that I've been doing, actually getting some fluidity into the image is it looks very good. However, I found that newspapers don't really enjoy it very much, not as much as I seem to like it. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about is ISO, and this can range from about 100 all the way up to very high, about 1600 to 3200, and essentially what that is doing is the higher the ISO, the better low light it will be. However, that does have the trade-off of making the picture more grainy. However, with modern day cameras, the noise reduction in post-processing, which you don't even have to do, it will just do by itself, is very, very good. So you can shoot, say you're in a wine cellar, for instance. I don't know why you'd be down there, however, and want to take a photograph, but you can whack the ISO right up to 3200, and the noise might not even, or the grain rather, might not even be recognisable, especially if you, in say Photoshop or Aperture or iPhoto, remove it in post-processing again. But so yeah, that is the three fundamental features. So what I'm going to start off with, the test images, is showing you what Aperture does to an image, and I'm going to be using this lens cap. Nice product placement for Nikon there. Anyway, I'm going to be showing you how this is affecting, the F number is affecting how it looks. So we're going to start off at f3.5. I'm going to put it into aperture priority mode. ISO 100, just keep that standard for now. Okay, so at f3.5, the image looks like this. And as you can see, the background and the Nikon camera strap that I'm recording this from is in the background. You can see that is still in focus, but not completely. Whereas if I increase the if I increase the f-stop to 22, which is the maximum this lens can achieve, it will look like this. So now you can see this this image has got much more in the background, but as you probably heard there, the shutter was kept open for much longer, and that's because it needed the same amount of light to get in there, and because the amount of light it could get through was much smaller, it needed to be open for much longer, whereas at f3.5 it was open, up and closed straight away. So that's something else you have to bear in mind, especially for night photography, and that is where the ISO comes in handy. So what I'm going to show you now is the shutter speed and how that affects the image. I'm going to shoot a shaky image with added shake, so I can demonstrate it to you at 1/160th of a second, and then at 2/10ths of a second. So let's see how they go. So the 1/160th of a second picture looks like this. Okay, so as you can see, it's completely crisp, well, relatively crisp, considering these lighting conditions, which aren't ideal. But then, now I'm going to show you it at 2/10ths of a second. Okay, and so, and you can hear the shutter was open for much longer then, and you can see it in the image. It's just, you can't really discern it unless you had seen the earlier picture and knew that there was a Fraser box set and the lens cap there. So anyway, I hope that has helped you with like your initial using your SLR. And basically, this channel is going to be here. I'm going to be here as a resource for helping like inspiring photographers and so on and so forth. I'm still an amateur. I would in no way describe myself as a pro by any mean, and this is my first YouTube video on this blog, so but I'm going to be trying more filmography and making sort of proper videos and editing and so on and so forth, and I will put up like behind the scenes videos if I have the time onto this channel. And so I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.